Hello my friends, it's been a couple of months since my last What's New from Hermes update, so I figured it's about time that we catch up, especially because their ready-to-wear collection for fall winter 2022 has just started hitting stores, which can only mean one thing. Slowly but surely, well, I should just say slowly, we'll probably start seeing other pieces for the upcoming season. But since I know that most of you are most interested in their bags, I thought that's what we should start with. So if you'd like to hear what new bags Hermes has in store for us for fall winter 2022, including the beautiful and the not so beautiful, I almost said ugly, then please be sure to give this video a thumbs up and keep on watching. And the good news is that you're not only getting an Hermes video, but you're also getting a little bit of ASMR from the beast himself, Mr. Pie, who is currently chewing on his favorite ostrich snack. So if you see me looking over there, I'm just making sure that he's okay. And if you can hear some background noise, that is being provided by Mr. Pie. But anyway, let's get into talking about today's video because we have quite a few pieces to go through. And let's start with a quick update because this is a piece that I teased in a previous What's New from Hermes video of mine. I think it must have been the last one, where we talked about the new HAC rock bag that walked their men's runway. And in that video, I mentioned that there will be a matching Birkin with the exact same rock design on the front, which now we have pictures of. So if you loved the rock design but you didn't want to get a bag quite as large and in charge as the HAC, here's the picture of the Birkin 25, which features the exact same details. So you have a little snap pocket on the front, you have a saddle-shaped zip pocket, and then I have to say my most favorite feature, which is the Shandong chain charm, which is something that I never quite understood why Hermes always neglects the Shandong design when it comes to bag accessories and even bag chains. So I'm really glad to finally see something that actually features their iconic Shandong design. I just have a soft spot for anything and everything Shandong, including this chain on the bag, and I feel like without that detail I would have not loved this bag, but with the chain on it, it is absolutely stunning. Now, is this a bag that I personally would buy for myself? I probably would not, just because I'm not a Birkin 25 kind of guy. But if you are, if you appreciate the Birkin 25 size, and if you'd like a special Birkin bag, one that's not exotic and one that's not too almost borderline kitschy, but it just genuinely looks like a piece of art, but a usable piece of art, this is definitely something that I would recommend that you add onto your wish list. But speaking of kitschy, we have a piece here that, let's just use the word playful to describe. This next piece is a new take on a bag that I have to say I adore, which is the Mini Bolide. I think when it comes to Hermes mini bags, the Mini Bolide is so incredibly underrated. It's one of those bags that I really don't see too much of out there, not even when I go to Hermes. But if you're looking for a mini bag that is incredibly timeless, classic, and under the radar, but it will feature the incredible craftsmanship of Hermes and a piece of Hermes history. Because did you know that the Bolide was the very first bag ever created that actually featured a zip closure? Well, if you'd like to buy into this piece of fashion history, you can with the Mini Bolide. But if you found the original Mini Bolide a little bit too plain for your liking, this upcoming bag is anything but boring, which is the new Mini Bolide that arrives on an actual skateboard. And you might be thinking, what does Hermes have to do with skateboards? Don't ask me because I don't have an answer for you. They have done skateboards in the past and they are doing them again for this upcoming season, and it's actually at the center of attention. They have done quite a few skateboard inspired pieces, like a larger Bolide bag that has a skateboard base. We're also getting a skateboard back charm, but they're also coming out with a Mini Bolide that arrives on a skateboard with actual wheels. Now, this bag is obviously not going to be everyone's cup of tea. It isn't mine either, but if you like things along the lines of the Kelly Doll bag or the Kelly Doll Big Toe, which we have already discussed before, I think this is something that you'll appreciate. It's definitely a lot of fun, it's whimsical, it's playful, and if this is your aesthetic, if you're looking for something unique, this is something that will be launching for the upcoming season. and I believe we're also getting a tiny little back charm version. We all knew it was only a matter of time for Hermes to go back into their archives to dig out a bag that they can shrink and then relaunch, which I actually think is going to work quite well for this next bag, because a little birdie has told me that we're getting a new mini take on their classic Jypsiere bag, which is a bag that launched under Jean-Paul Gaultier's creative direction. And if you ask me, I think it is definitely one of the most iconic pieces that we have from that era. I think a lot of people would think of the Shadow Birkin and the So Black Birkin, and I should add the entire So Black collection, which, yes, they were show-stopping pieces, but let's be honest, they were quite short-lived. But when it comes to a bag that has stood the test of time and that had a long-lasting effect on Hermes bags, I definitely think that the Jypsiere is one of those pieces, which I think was originally inspired by a hunting satchel that Jean-Paul Gaultier had seen. That's what inspired the shape of the bag, and then of course it was infused with Hermes's DNA by using the HAC closure as well as the adjustable strap, which definitely has some sort of an equestrian background. And if you love the Jypsiere but it was a bag that you couldn't get your hands on, or it was too big for you, or you didn't get on with any one of the sizes that they had, I think you'll be happy to hear that you will be getting it in a mini size, which I think is going to work incredibly well for this bag. I'm hoping that it's not going to be too small. I have not seen any mod shots, but I think if it's a generous enough size, it's going to be an incredibly popular style. So if you've always loved the Jypsiere, but you wanted it in more of a mini size, this is definitely something that you want to speak to your store about. Moving on to some of the pieces that we actually saw on the runway, there were 3 that stood out to me, but I want to start with this one, the one that makes me the most excited, because I have been singing the praises of the Kelly wallet for pretty much as far as I can remember, so it is making me really happy to see it walking the runway, because we're getting a new take on the Kelly wallet to go, which if you've seen my videos comparing the original Kelly wallet to the Kelly wallet to go, you may remember that I wasn't the biggest fan of the original design. I adore my Kelly wallets. I consider them to be probably the best investments that I have ever made into my collection, just because I have worn them and used them so much. But the Kelly to go, that little thin strap that it came with, just looked super flimsy and kind of DIY. If anything, it made the Kelly wallet look a lot worse than better. But I am really happy to see this new take on the idea, because this time the Kelly to go you will be able to pick up with a shorter, thicker leather strap, which is not only incredibly on trend, but it's also quite on brand for Hermes for the upcoming season, if you think about some of the rock bags that they are launching, because this new Kelly to go definitely has this sort of rock and roll twist to it. It borrows inspiration from the beloved CDC line with the Medor Pyramid and the Medor Ring, and I personally couldn't think of a more refreshing and tasteful way of combining these two quite different families from the brand. I think they did an incredible job, and to me it seems like that the Kelly wallet to go is going to be available in box, which I know is going to make many of you incredibly happy out there, because if there's one piece that I often get asked if I'm willing to sell, it is my Kelly wallet in box, which I am not selling, but thankfully and hopefully now you'll be able to get your own directly from Hermes with this incredibly cool strap. We have 2 more bags to discuss from the runway, and I actually want to start with the one that I personally preferred, which is sort of a more minimalist stripped down take on the Kelly bag. Now, is this a rip-off of a Kelly bag? I personally don't think so. You can definitely see the loose inspiration that they took from the Kelly bag, especially if you know Hermes' heritage, their history, and their iconography, but I think it is far enough from the original design to stand on its own, which is the 22 bag. Now, don't quote me on the name. I'm not exactly sure if it's going to be called the 22, if it's going to be in French, if it's going to be a mix of French and English. But for now, let's just call it the 22 bag, which if you see this bag, especially if you see it from the side, you can definitely see why I was saying that it's kind of a new updated contemporary take on the Kelly bag, because the overall shape and structure of the bag is quite similar, but where the biggest difference is going to be the closure of the bag. This bag features this oversized zipper that runs across the entire top of the bag. You get a longer single handle as you would with a Kelly bag, but this time it's a little bit thinner and less structured. And then you also get this oversized clochette, which I have to be honest with you, when I first saw that bag, I thought it was a Fendi bag. For a second, I thought it was, I think it was called the Toujours bag from Fendi. That's what it reminded me of. Either that or the Celine Edge bag, which featured a really similar zip closure. But the more I looked at this bag, the more I started to like it. I definitely think that it's one of those bags that I would say that if you appreciate aesthetics like the aesthetic of the Row or old school Celine, this is a bag that I think you'll really enjoy. Is this going to replace the Kelly bag if that's been the bag of your dream for decades? Absolutely not. But I think it is an interesting, beautifully crafted bag if you're looking for an everyday bag that is going to deliver on the craftsmanship, on the quality, but is not so obviously Hermes. This is definitely something that I would recommend that you look into. Is it a bag that I would personally buy? I don't think it's for me. I don't think this shape would really suit me, but I think it's going to look incredible, and it could look incredible on so many people out there. So I would say that I am a fan of this bag, and I'm excited to start seeing this bag pop up in stores. And last but not least, let's talk about a new Mini Kelly, which is actually not a brand new design. This upcoming Mini Kelly, I can compare to two previously available Hermes bags. I'll show you the picture here. I don't know how to feel about this bag, but let me just say what I know about this particular design. So it's obviously a new take on the Mini Kelly in a larger Sellier structure, which was actually available previously in this size. Once upon a time, many decades ago, there was a Mini Kelly that, just like this one, didn't feature a classic top handle. Instead, it had this longer, it was kind of in between a handle and the strap. It wasn't a handle, but nor was it a strap. It was just like this bag, and that Mini Kelly still pops up here and there at auctions, but personally I was never a fan, just because I love that intricately done handle on the Kelly bag as much as I do the actual closure. So for me there was always something missing, but they basically took the original shape and they gave it this asymmetric pocket, which again is not a brand new detail. It's something that we've seen on a bag called the Sac Himalaya before, not to be confused with the Himalaya croc bags, which in that case Himalaya refers to the coloring of the bag. With this bag, that was the actual name of the bag, which was this sort of patchwork inspired kind of briefcase looking thing. It was almost as if it was done by the Petite Osh line. It was definitely over the top. I personally have never seen anyone with that bag, but I have seen it quite a few times as a window display piece. So if that's a bag that you appreciated, I'm sure you'll enjoy this bag too, but it's not one that I personally find attractive in any way. Could you style this bag well? I'm sure you could, but you would have quite a tough time doing it. My friends, these are all the new Hermes bags that we had time for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I cannot wait to hear your thoughts and your first impression on these bags. Please let me know in the comment section if there are any pieces that stood out to you. Are there any bags that are being added to your wish list? Are there any that you dislike? I cannot wait to hear what you have to say. And if you enjoyed this and you'd like me to make more what's new from Hermes videos, perhaps one on new accessories and more bags that are launching, make sure to let me know by giving this video a thumbs up. And while you're down there, don't forget to subscribe. But for now, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you being here, and I hope to see you back here with a new video really soon. But for now, bye.